thing for the first time.
Well, because this is the John Jones, Bo Nickal got a huge pop. That's educated fans because this guy is making his UFC debut at 3-0 and gets that kind of hype. That means a lot to me. The hype is real. The hype is real, kids.
So Bo Nickal moves to 4-0 with as many finishes. That is the longest professional fight for him.
Here's the problem with this much hype. When you have such a spectacular debut on pay-per-view, your next fights are in the deep end of the pool.
Yep.
And with very little MMA experience.
Right here, you see Nickal. He goes knee pick here. He reaches inside, throw by, knee pick. Sets him down. We have seen him use this takedown quite a bit to this point in his career. Now here he's got the front headlock. He steps around, takes the back, gets the hooks in right away. Attacks rear choke. Jamie then does the
Hope is real, my friend. What is it like coming into the octagon at 3-0? You just turned 27 in a UFC pay-per-view with John Jones, and you're on the pay-per-view. What is that feeling like?
Man, I feel at home. You know, I've been training my whole life for this. I feel like I was born, bred, and I train every day so I can come out here and dominate, and that's what I did.
You're on the fast track, clearly, because here you are in the pay-per-view right away. You win over a guy like Jamie Pickett, a guy with a lot of experience. What do we want to see next from Bo Nickal?
You know, for me, like I said, I'm 4-0, I'm 27, I'm young. I've been doing MMA for a year and a half, and I'm in a main card in the UFC pay-per-view. Like, that's insane. So I'm just going to keep getting better, keep dominating, and you bet your ass I'm getting that belt, and I'm going to be the pound-for-pound #1 fighter by the time my career's done.
19, Daniel, Big Ten Athlete of the Year, one of the best collegiate athletic calendar years we've ever seen.
Yeah, but John, you know, we talk about that. It's very important. It's Big Ten athlete overall. All the football players, all the basketball players, they chose Bo Nickal, a wrestler, as the Big Ten Athlete of the Year. This guy was just a tremendous competitor next week. He is a fantastic athlete, and honestly, if not for a guy that trains in his room, he would be one of the favorites to make our United States Olympic team. That's how good of a wrestler this guy is. But he's coming to MMA early. While some think they'd like to see him wrestle more, Bo Nickal just wants to fight, and he gets his opportunity tonight.
It's weird, bro.
Did you feel like you hit a blow at all, or no?
No, I don't. I think, honestly, I know exactly what happened. I mean, I hit him in the leg, in the thigh, and I had him in a bad position on the wall, you know, so he wanted to get off the wall, and he wanted the ref to stop it, which, if I would have actually hit him low, I would feel bad because I don't want to win that way. Like, I'm not a cheater. I'm not somebody that tries to take shortcuts. And so if I did hit him low, I would have just relaxed probably, or just like let the ref stop it. But I didn't hit him low at all. So it's a weird move, bro.
Nickal's probably the most hyped prospect since Khamzat Chimaev. How would you compare the hype from Bo Nickal to Khamzat Chimaev thus far?
I don't know. It's different. You know, it's so different because, you know, Bo comes from, you know, collegiate background, you know, more well-known going into this thing than Khamzat was. Khamzat fights on Fight Island during COVID. Then he jumps out and tells me he wants to fight again next weekend. And I'm like, okay, let's do it. And, you know, that whole Khamzat thing just started rolling organically after that. Two totally different types of
background. What have you made of sort of this Dagestani takeover in the UFC with, you know, Umar Nurmagomedov, Islam Makhachev? Like, I'm sure you're paying attention to that. What do you think of what they've been able to do in the sport?
Yeah, you know, it's awesome accomplishments that they've had. You know, those guys compete at such a high level. I think that, you know, the way they compete, I enjoy that intensity. I enjoy seeing the way that they structure their training and really the way they live their lives. Obviously super disciplined and fully focused. They're all in on and committed to their goal. And so, you know, that's something that's very exciting in the sport, to see people that I think honestly have a very similar mindset to what I have and a similar mindset to what we preach at Penn State. And so, you know, seeing the way that they compete and how high level they've gotten, it's exciting for me because you know, I want to take my team at American Top Team, Happy Valley, and at Penn State, and be the next wave of strong grapplers to come up and start challenging those guys.
I think Bo Nickal has an exponential opportunity and exponential growth and exponential potential in this sport. I think Bo can do awesome things. I think Bo will do awesome things. I think Bo has the people behind him, the people around him. He knows how to train. He's got the talent. And obviously, at this point, he hasn't been very shy on the microphone. Now, that would be the second thing I would say. I think it's a little bit unbecoming to come into the UFC off the Contender Series and start talking about Khamzat Chimaev and fighting John Jones or whoever he's freaking fighting. You know, at some point, you got to just play the game as well. You got to grow, but grow at the right rate. People see what Conor did getting on the microphone. People see what these other people have done. I think Bo's getting a little bit too talky for the average fan's liking. If it were me and I were his manager, I'd say, hey, let's keep our nose to the grindstone. Let's knock them down when they put them in front of us. Let's talk about realistic matchups, but don't talk about Khamzat Chimaev, your first fight in the UFC, basically.
Are you excited?
But I do love his willingness to say those things, because it gets us all talking. Here I am at a press conference talking about him, right? So it's a good thing. But ultimately, to the average fan, they're like, wait a second, dude, we don't even know who you are yet. Why are you talking about Khamzat, you know?